Great skills again by him. Oh, marvellous goal by Lowdown.
Welcome to the Rangers Journal.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. My name is Doug. You're watching the Rangers Journal, and this is the Lowdown, your bite-sized video on our upcoming opponents, which this episode is Roma in the Europa League. The Europa League has not been the competition that it has been for us in the last few years, with Rangers falling to 3 losses out of 3 so far against teams that we really should be looking to get points off of. When the draw was first pulled out, I really hoped we would potentially be sitting here with 7 out of 9, or maybe even 9 out of 9 if we'd played to our strengths, but obviously we all know how that went. Things are improving under the new manager role, and hopefully we can continue to see a bit of that improvement on Thursday night. Roma are obviously going to be a really tough opponent. They're sitting 4th in the Serie A right now, and they are a team full of talent, although, as we will discuss, some of that talent will be missing for this game. So as we always do, let's have a wee look at current form. Rangers sitting with 2 wins out of their last 5. We'll see the disappointing 3-1 defeat to Celtic in the League Cup semi-final the weekend there. Rangers, albeit played much better in the second half, despite being down to 10 men, clawed our way back into the game and really showed a lot of fight and determination. I think just as time went on and the effort and the running that the players had to put in eventually told, and Celtic were able to get those 2 goals in extra time to close the game. Roma also have 2 wins in their last 5. They're coming off of a 1-0 loss to Milan. They did beat Parma and Sassuolo in their previous 2 games. A loss in the Europa League to Victoria Pleasant, 2-1, and a 1-0 loss at Inter, also in that 5 there. You see from the group, Roma currently sitting in 17th position in the Europa League table, whereas we are rock bottom at the bottom of the table. So not a great place, particularly considering how well we've done. I'm just double check that they should be that should be 23rd. Sorry, that's 17. I think it's carried on from my last slide. So Roma sitting 23rd in the Europa League table, whereas we, as I say, sitting there rock bottom with sides like Utrecht, Salzburg, and Nice, who have yet to register any kind of points in the competition. Whether we can change that, we'll need to see in this tough game, albeit one at Ibrox. And Thursday nights at Ibrox can be really exciting nights, and obviously can help bring out victories against big teams. So fingers crossed that is something we can see in this one. In terms of what we can expect from Roma, they play sort of a 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-3 formation under Gianpiero Gasperini. Gasperini may well be known to some of you. He's managed for a long time, mostly in Italy. He was manager of Atalanta when they won the Europa League a couple of years ago. He's a good manager who's come in following Ranieri's period back at Roma on the recommendation of Ranieri himself, who's sort of taken a sort of a footballing support role higher up in the team, and he's come in and sort of been able to follow on from his system and sort of grow that system with the style that he likes to play, and add players in. He does play a progressive style. He likes a lot of movement off the ball, players moving, being fluid, switching positions. The interchangeability of positions is a big thing for how they cause chaos and confusion in defences. They look for outstanding 1v1s in duels against players, and he likes to deploy strong players that can win those battles. He does rely heavily on the advanced playmakers' movements without the ball to help create numerical superiority on one or either flank. He likes to start attacks from the sort of flank areas, so you will see long balls from Roma, from the goalkeeper, and also from the defenders. Or often a defender will come out from the back 3 to break the lines into midfield, with a midfielder dropping back, and they potentially receive the ball and then launch a long ball into those flank positions where they'll try and create passing triangles to then further advance the ball. And with the movement of the playmaker to, as I say, create overloads or drag defenders out to create spaces and passing lanes. He likes to play quick, although they will play disciplined. But he does like, it seems to be risk taking to take chances and with their balls and their passes. So that can obviously open doors for the opposition. So we can look to hopefully potentially break on Roma when they are in advanced positions if they do take a more risky pass and lose the ball. And hopefully with some of our quicker ball carriers, we can take advantage of that. In terms of counter-attacks and quick breaks away, obviously with the three at the back, there can be spaces found on the flanks if their wing backs or sort of midfielders are pushed further up in attacking phases. So that's something that we should look to potentially take advantage of. And we'll come back to that when we look at our 11. In terms of Roma's danger men, a few of the danger men are out at the moment injured. They do have quite a few injuries in the team as at the moment. One of the big ones being Paulo Dybala. Obviously a great player who's been around for quite a while and a key player for Roma in terms of that advanced playmaker role we discussed. They're also without Evan Ferguson, who obviously some of you will know, and former Man United and Leipzig player Angelino, who we've come against, is also out, as well as Eduardo Bove, who has got a long-term condition. So a couple of players out there for Roma, which obviously is a plus for us. Ourselves, we've still got the main two of Sterling and Matondo in terms of our players out. So the players I've sort of highlighted here is Matthias Sule. He's striker for them and kind of their sort of main striking player currently with Dybala and Ferguson out. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists in Serie A so far from 9 starts and 10 matches. A solid 7.49 rating. And as you can see, in terms of possessions, you can play striker and all across that front sort of attacking line. They does tend to be in that kind of playmaker attacking midfield role a lot of the time. Some really good percentiles there in terms of touches and creating chances and taking shots. So he's on the ball a lot and trying to create and score goals. The other player I picked out here is Brazilian Wesley. Wesley is primarily a right back, although he can play on the left-hand side as well. He primarily plays on that right, but he has been getting played out of position due to the formation. So don't be surprised if he does appear on the left-hand side of midfield. He has played there a couple of times in recent games. He's really quick. He can move the ball quickly and can be right for attack. Not a huge amount of goals or assists, but can often be the player who's on the ball on the pass before the assist. Again, good on the shots attempted. And still solid chances created at 61% percentile there. So another player, a quick player to look out for. A lot of the other midfield. A lot of the other midfield players are sort of the more constructive or destructive players in terms of their build-up play. Whereas Wesley, I think it's a bit more attacking, and as I say, is a big mover of carrier of the ball. In terms of how we should line up and what we should be looking to do, I think the formation probably stays the same to help with that solidity at the back. As I say, they will play long balls in, so having that solidity will be of benefit. The 2 main changes I think I would like to see, though, is bringing in Moore for Asgard and bringing Gassama into that wing-back role, moving Tab back into the defence. I think Tab will be just a little bit more assured than Giga. And also, obviously we're well aware of his creative abilities. So it might just help to keep the back four a little bit more organised. I'd like to see Gassama in there and Moore, because both of them are good at carrying the ball. They're quick, along with Magoma. I think if we do get those breaks or turnovers in transition, we are able to create those spaces out wide. Then the combination of them and Danilo as well, who's quite quick, could help to create chances for us. I'm probably bringing back Chermiti. He did miss some guilty chances against Celtic. hopefully, though, if we can keep giving him opportunities like that, he starts to score them. I do think his physical presence might be beneficial in this game over Miovski. And, at the end of the day, he's our signature signing at the moment. We kind of, I think, need to play him and try and get the best we can out of him, or try build his confidence and give him chances. And hopefully, as I say, he starts to put them away. Danilo, obviously, unfortunately, did come off fairly early in the Celtic game. I think, obviously, as partly in response to the red card. So that's not his fault. I think many would potentially have liked to have seen him stay on rather than Trimity in that game. He's obviously is getting a couple of goals at the moment, so hopefully can continue that streak. As I say, I think he suits the more continental style, which is why he has tended to have a decent record against Celtic, having scored 2 and 4. And yeah, just I'd really like that. I don't know. I really like Danilo. I think he's a really good guy. He seems like someone who's puts a lot of effort. He looked really frustrated at the end of last season when he wasn't getting on and wasn't getting the ability to go out and make a difference. And I think I just really like things to work out for him. So like to see him potentially there to score. In terms of a game changer, it's getting a bit of a broken record, but I think the big choice is Jack Butland. He's been so important in so many games this season. At the Rangers Journal, he's been voted the Player of the Month 3 months in a row because he really has been keeping us in games, and I think this will be no different on Thursday, because he's by and large been really back to his top form. He has had the occasional mistake here and there. Obviously, the goal against Kilmarnock maybe could have done better for McGregor's goal, and the Old Firm game. But on the whole, he's been excellent, and we'll need him to continue to keep us with a solid back and last line of defence in big games like this. The strikers, I think, are also going to be important because we are going to need to get goals if we're going to try and win some of these games and regain some points and hopefully try and squeak in at the very bottom end of this qualifying section of the Europa League. So those are the two big points. Obviously, it's as Mitch often says, keep ball out net, put ball in net. It's as simple as that sometimes, and those are going to be the big factors in this game. So coming on to predictions. So again, Bran, I predicted 2-0 there, and we were absolutely woeful and lost 3-0 in that game. So we're 3 for 3 in terms of just total per predictions, but that was has been a real trend under that Russell Martin era. Obviously, Bran was, strictly speaking, and a Danny Rule game, but he was in the door for minutes. I still kind of consider that a Russell Martin match. In terms of the players, didn't really have any time with Rule to make any changes. And under Martin, we just kept thinking it was going to turn around. It had to turn around, and it obviously just never did. Hopefully, Danny Rule has made some progress and can maybe squeeze a victory out if the crowd really get behind the team, and we lift our levels the way we know we can in the Europa League. We can maybe try and take advantage of the fact that Roma have some key players out and try and squeeze a victory. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Rangers. It's maybe it's more likely it could be a draw, but I'm going to err on the side of positivity. So who knows? Maybe we'll go 4 for 4 in losses, but as I say, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can try and turn this Europa League phase around, even if just slightly, and get some points on the board. Okay, so that's for the lowdown today. As I say, another big game. Europe has really, as I say, been really disappointing this season. It's normally the thing we look to get relief from the disappointment of the league, but Russell Martin really did a number on us and his time here. So this is our first opportunity, I think, with Rule having been at the club now for a couple of weeks, starting to get his ideas across. He's made some changes, such as starting playing at 3 at the back. So hopefully we can get, at the very least, a better performance at Ibrox in this big game. Roma, a classic Italian team, so it's great to see sides like that coming to Glasgow and us getting to enjoy big nights like this. So hopefully we can do, as I say, the very least an improved performance and being competitive will be at the beginning. So I'll take that. But as I say, hopefully we can squeeze in the 2-1. If you like what you see, do please subscribe to the channel. You can do that just by hitting that subscribe button and then the notification bell to told when we go live. We've got live shows all throughout the week and before and after every game that Rangers play, as well as bonus content and members content. If you'd like to become a member for 99p a month, you can find all that on our YouTube page. So please do consider subscribing if you have not already. My name's been Doug. You've been watching the Rangers Journal, and just remember that every night it's a Rangers Journal night. Cheers.
Every night is the Rangers Journal night.